This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the CEO of Regulus Resources, Mr. John Black. John, interesting times. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Happy New Year, Gerardo. Good to speak with you again.
It's great to connect again. Happy New Year to you as well. You had some news today that I wanted to get some context on. The headline reads, Regulus extends the mineralized footprint at the Antiquary Copper Gold project. I wanted to get your take because I know that the aim of the program was to test the various geophysical and geological targets, right? And obviously, of course, to expand the footprint of mineralization. It appears from my amateur take that you were successful on that front. Could you give us some context there?
Yeah, absolutely. Love to provide some context for these two holes. So, as you aptly described, these two holes are the first two holes that we've made big step outs to the north from the principal Antiquary project. So the Antiquary project already has a fairly large resource defined, but we've, for a long period of time, always wanted to move to the north to see if we could extend that into an area that we call Antinorte. We received those permits to be able to drill early last year, and then had a forced delay due to the COVID, and then just got started in October. Managed to get two holes in. We've got a temporary suspension on drilling right at the moment as we work out with some of the communities on increased interest from additional communities that want some compensation for our work there, which we'll have solved pretty soon and get back to drilling. But today what we were able to do is put out the results from those first two holes. And we're very excited because they've demonstrated that the system, as per our belief, extends significantly to the north. So hole 44 and 45, as I mentioned, were big step outs. 44 was a 370-meter step out from the closest previous drilling. So this is 370 meters is the width of many ore bodies by themselves. So this is a big jump to the north to see if our system continues to extend that far north. And we hit some very encouraging results in there, multiple intercepts of reportable copper gold mineralization in that hole. It's moderate grade mineralization. It's not the strongest mineralization. I think some in the market might have been expecting one of the top 10 type holes that we've delivered from other portions of the project. But for us, it's very encouraging to step that far out, that big of a jump out to the north, and still be in significant ore grade mineralization. 45, the second hole, stepped an additional 225 meters to the north of 44 and had less reportable mineralization, but still some pretty strong alterations, some good indications were still in the system, and increasing mineralization at depth that had two nice hits on the bottom of that hole. So overall, we're very thrilled with this. Think of this as the first two holes into a very large untested area, and for the first two holes in, these are quite encouraging results.
It's interesting to me, John, that you describe in the release that the two holes are vectoring you towards the center of the system being located on the 100% owned claims. That's pretty significant.
It is, and the overall area that we call Antinorte, the Antinorte portion of the Antiquary project, it's defined really by a geophysical signature, a magnetic signature that we believe is indicative of the intrusive center that causes this mineralization. And that overall target area is about 1.3 kilometers by 1.6 kilometers. We've just started with these first two holes testing the western edge of that. And the reason we started there were multiple reasons for this. It was the area that we had the best access in, and it's on a portion of ground that we refer to as the Kolkirumi JV. It's a ground that we're earning up to a 70% interest from Kolkirumi, a subsidiary company of Buenaventura. As you might recall, to earn that 70% interest, we need to complete 7,500 meters of drilling. And at that time, we earned that 70% interest, and Kolkirumi or Buenaventura has a one option to elect to claw back to 30% us, 70% them by paying us $9 million. So we want to complete that so that we earn into the part. We'd prefer to have 70% interest, although $9 million US of non-dilutive financing is always welcome as well. But we wanted to get that started. And so we chose to start on that portion of the anomaly being aware that we might be on the western margin of the anomaly. And the results are confirming what we thought on that is that it's even though they're well mineralized, they're indicative that we're kind of on the edge, the outside edge of the feature, particularly 45. It looks like we're kind of defining that outer margin. And that points us with vectors back towards the southeast, towards the center of that large 1.3 by 1.6 anomaly that defines the Ante-Norte portion of the target. And that center is on 100% Regulus ground. Originally, we felt it was important that we completed that Koki-Rumi earn-in because it potentially offered us financing, and we would avoid an equity dilution, a diluted equity financing by doing that. That's less of a concern for us now because, as you might recall, we recently had announced a strategic partnership with Cisco, which has provided us with a large cash injection. So we're no longer as concerned about reaching that meterage right now. So when we start drilling back up here shortly in the near future, we will likely move at least one of the rigs out to that center onto our 100% ground, more towards the center of the anomaly.
Excellent. Excellent. John, I want to thank you for the time and for the update. I'm looking forward to the drills turning once again, and hopefully we can have you back on once drilling resumes.
Yeah, that should be not too far in the future. We'd look very much forward to that, and we can talk more about the rest of the drill program when we get things back up and running well here.
Fantastic. Thanks again.
Okay, great. Thanks, Gerardo. Take care. Bye.